A little over a year ago, I started editing my Act 2. What I thought was going to take a few months ended up taking much longer. 5 months in, I received some pretty bad health news, and then 2 months later, I received even more. Because of this, I was forced to put my editing on pause. Here is the missing vlog from before my health went south. Alright, it's been a few days, and I'm finally ready to sit down and work on my story. And when I say I'm ready, I mean I'm being forced into doing this by myself. I am currently setting up where I left off, so I know more or less what to work on currently. I also need to write that down, don't I? Hold up. Act 2. Why isn't this connecting? Oh golly, what is this? I haven't really worked on my story in a while, but I did work it during the cusp of the new year. During that time, my sister and Henry would play video games, and I managed to work on my story. Like, I am shocked at myself, but I worked on my story. I completed a whole chapter, and then I also organized all my future chapters. And now I have to actually do the work, and I'm still not 100% certain I chose the right order, but we will see. Yeah, so I'm gonna work on that now, work on my story, and then we'll see where that goes, won't we? Hello. Hopefully you cannot hear my computer fan. It is quite loud. I have been working on my story, and I have been wanting to check in, but I haven't really wanted to be on camera, slash, Monroe, you're going to shake the table. Slash, I haven't really actually wanted to pull out the camera. So there's that. Can you be a good kitty cat, please? Where am I at? I have currently done 5 chapters, one of which is just bullet pointed, and another one, a page and a half is written, and then the rest is bullet points. Mainly because those characters are just 2 characters that I kind of forget how to write their voices. They're harder for me to write. So I'm gonna go back to them. Thankfully, I can do that with those characters, and that way I can just write all their voice at once. But sorry, I'm a little bit frustrated with this story. One, I really regret doing multi-point of view for my first story back from taking a break from writing. Starting with this story, though, it is my forever passion project that I would love to work, I would love to make work. I don't think I could have done another story, so I'm not saying like I chose the wrong one. I think I needed to do this one because this one really was the only thing calling to me. And I think it's more important to work on something you're excited about, whether or not you're ready for it, which is something I am learning. My main issue is just end of 2020 through now, I don't think I organized what I should work on correctly. I really want to be drafting, is a good way to put it. Super want to be drafting. But I started this, and I have realized I can't do 2 things at once. So my paranormal romance that I was working on for Nano 2020, I had to put on the wayside so I can focus on this, because if I take any more time off of this edit, I'll have to restart this revision process, because I'm really starting to forget what's in my first act. in the sense of like, I know what happens in it, but I don't know how to continually write the plot, and that is what this current revision is about. Just making sure that the plot makes sense, the beats and the plot points are where they need to be, and sadly, Act 2 is the worst of it. It is absolutely all over the place and needs the most work, and that's where I am. It's an Act 2 revision vlog, so I'm very, very frustrated with that. The other thing I'm really frustrated about, I don't even want to talk about it because I am so scared about this one. Okay, so when I ended my writing break, which was due to just life and getting sick, I plotted, world built, and I did a bit of a zero draft. It was good. It was great. There was just a few issues I had where, how do I do it? The plot was the same. It was just taking place in the wrong locations, in the sense where I had placed the locations of each plot point made the one person's storyline completely redundant, and their storyline is super important for later books. So I had to rewrite it all, is the best way to put it. And I did that when I wrote my first draft during Nano of 2019, which is the Nano I won. And everything I changed from the zero draft for my first draft during that Nano has turned out to be a mistake, and I've gone back to how things were originally written, which is very frustrating.
What I poorly tried to explain here was that when I changed my scene settings, I accidentally made my midpoint my break into 2.
I kind of messed up pretty big with that, but it doesn't matter because it can be easily fixed. It would mainly be Act 1 that I'd have to change. Oh my gosh. As you can tell, I'm not doing well with this, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna finish this revision, read it over once more, and then as long as the plot makes sense, send it off to my critique partner. She will tell me what she thinks. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been with this edit. But I just need to finish this one revision. Then I can take a very, very long break from this story and work on the stuff that I want to work on. I think those will be easier. They're standalone novels. They are one person perspective. They're one point of view. I'm hoping going forward, editing will be way easier, which is the thing I hate the most. Another thing I've learned during this time, just while we're here, that is very odd. Let me close this so we stop having this computer fan affecting the vlog. Yes, with drafting, I need to be alone. I need to be in a silent room. I need to know that no one can walk in and interrupt that flow state of creativity that I enter. But with editing and revising, I have learned I work so much better when I'm around people, which is a bit weird. For those of you who don't know, within my lockdown, it's Henry and my family, and I found that at nighttime, if I'm sat with them, or in the morning when I'm sat with them, I get so much more editing done. When it's just me alone, I cannot concentrate because I hate revising, I hate editing. So things are positive. I think I'm just kind of focusing on the negative right now because I'm very nervous. I'm very, very nervous, and I don't really know what to do, but I think I have like 11 scenes/chapters left to go. I've only barely done 5. Really, only 3 are completed, but you know, whatever. I feel like editing makes me such a negative person. I don't know if you can see me very well, but I just finished another chapter. I also probably look like a hot mess. Hold on, let me get closer. I know the whole plot. I know all that stuff, but there's one thing, like if we were to take the story and divide the point of the plot, like the whole reason why the story is happening, we could divide it a little bit. And there's one division that I know what it is, but I haven't written the exact way how the characters know what it is, because I have to write a little poem, a little limerick. I don't know what to call it, but I need that in order to portray it. So because I don't know what the exact words are, whenever it pops up in the story, it's very much like me just filling in a blank of this thing. And I kind of came across it again last night when I finished a chapter, and I was like, gosh darn it, I just feel like I'm skipping over so many things I need to know, but I don't feel in the right headspace to write it because everything else is so confusing, so I keep putting it off. Also, I keep skipping certain characters' chapters because I just don't want to write them. I don't want to figure out how to write them currently. I'm just very negative right now because I hate editing and I don't want to do it. Here we are. I think I'm on what chapter am I editing? Keeping in mind that I think I've skipped, how many chapters have I skipped? 1, 2, 3. I've skipped 3 chapters, and I'm about to write edit Frankenstein chapter 17. That's the best way to put it. Yeah. And then I don't know. Okay, I just learned this new trick. Watch. So on your keyboard, you see this bottom left button, the FN. If you double click it, this dictation thing appears, and this dictation thing appears, and you just talk, and it writes down everything that you say perfectly, period. It worked. Oh my gosh. Okay, it is currently 8:37? Yeah, and I'm eating my breakfast a bit later than normal. And while my computer's updating, I'm just going to write everything I think needs to happen, or like I need to add and edit and change onto my whiteboard so that way I can just change the whole thing later. After much consideration, and even though I tried to delay this as much as possible, I'm going to reread my story all the way up to the point I have edited, just to make sure I'm on the right track, I mean, I actually think I am. It's just the scenes after what I've already edited are a little bit, I have too many ideas, and I need to remember. I need to remember the cause, so my battery's flashing, but I will check in with you once I've finished. Okay, quick update. I just got onto chapter 3, and it has been weirdly replaced with like this jumbled up weird text thing, and I don't know where my chapter went. I'm like kind of low-key freaking out right now. I only get up to like 1 page. I don't know what's going on. That's my chapter 2. I don't want to have to rewrite it because I hated writing that chapter. It was fine. It was good. Okay, it's currently 2:55. Didn't figure out how to fix the chapter. I kind of just thought, no need to distract myself. I know what's in that chapter. It's just a starter chapter to a new character. And honestly, I was debating getting rid of this character's point of view to begin with. So this could just me trying to find the positive here, but I may not need it. I'm currently on chapter 4, which is my longest chapter, and I'm starting to feel like I won't finish this read through by the end of the day, but I'm still hopeful because I know it might be easier. I don't know. That was an unnecessary pause. I apologize. But yeah, I have 18 chapters in total with the prologue that have to be done by today. I'm gonna count the prologue as a chapter just for this read through, so that means I'm almost done with 5. Good morning. It is the next, oh my gosh, that's the first time I've spoken all day. It is currently the next day. It is 8:37 a.m. and today is actually the start of daylight savings, which I find quite odd because I've been very much struggling to get up by like 7 a.m. But this morning I woke up around 6:30. So I'm just wondering if my clocks have actually changed with the satellite. So yesterday I got a lot done, not as much as I would have hoped. The goal was to finish everything within a day, the entire read through. And I don't think I realized how much of a story my book has become. Like before it was really easy to read through it quite quickly because it wasn't as developed. But my Act 1 is a lot more developed than I had given myself credit for, which is absolutely crazy to me. Like the first chapter I've been really hating on. And other than the fact that I need to like add a small scene, it's pretty good. I mean, it's a good first send out, if that makes sense. So you know how like there's that first draft thing where it's awful, but it's still really good for first draft? I would say it's at the stage of, this is good to send to someone to tell me how awful it is. Yeah. As far as notes go, I have 4 full pages. And then like this, like a random front page with like random notes that have nothing to do with the particular chapter. Really, it's funny because it's been very helpful. I've found a few little nuances that I completely forgot, or like there was this one thing where I kept going back and forth with which plot point or which direction I wanted to take something. So I now know what direction I want to go in and how to fix all the stuff as it comes up. The only thing other than adding like a couple of scenes, and when I say scenes, I mean little connecting scenes, is that I have to completely write chapter 9. Chapter 9 needs to be rewritten in a different point of view. But I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. I don't know. I'll come back to that. And yeah, that's all of Act 1 that I read yesterday. So now it's all of Act 2 that I've so far written, which should go by a lot more quickly, but we'll probably have a lot more notes since I don't think it'll be anywhere as clean as Act 1 since Act 2 is a rewrite for me. Yeah. Trying to think what else I need to... Oh, I'm really bad at transitioning from one place to another. So like if a character's going somewhere mid-scene, I have learned I'm very bad at writing those. So that's definitely something that when I do send it off to my critique partner, I want to be like, hey, how would you do this? Please teach me. Yeah. Anyways, I'm now going to eat breakfast and get started on reading chapter 10. Okay, I'm seriously gonna lose it with this camera. I still haven't fixed my autofocus by the time I'm at the point of which I'm filming this. But this is my 4th time. Is it my 4th? Is it my 3rd? I don't know. No, it's my 4th time filming this. Anyways, regardless, I finished my read through, and I feel like throughout the duration of this read through, I've gotten progressively worse. During this time, I have come to the obvious realization that I am the type of artist whose personal hygiene goes out the window when they are on a roll. So how did it go? It went actually really well. The first act was by far the easiest to read and the most fun because it actually read like a story and it made me really excited, and I just felt so much better about it. I actually thought it sucked before I did this read through, and I was like, wow, I'm impressed with myself, and I'm gonna ride that wave before someone else reads it and tells me how terrible it is, because they should. That's what your critique partner should do, and then they should tell you how to make it better. Act 2 was really, really hard to get through. I kept getting distracted because they weren't really completed chapters. It very much read as a zero draft because I had to rewrite my Act 2 / still am. I have about 9 pages of notes as well as a whiteboard filled with them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to type up all the notes I have for this, and I'm going to organize them, print them out, and put them in my series Bible so that I can go through all the chapters I just read over and really change what I need to change, but having them all in one place, because I feel like that's been my issue, is that I keep putting notes in weird places. Like I found a few documents on my computer with notes. So yeah, anyways, so I'm gonna do that. I also need to write some backstory for a few characters. It probably won't be in the books, but I just need to like nail down the stuff that's motivating them to make these decisions on one sheet of paper, so I don't keep forgetting the exact thing that I'm doing, or like create plot holes by accident. Yeah, which is a lot to do. I get it for a book that I don't plan on publishing, especially for a series, but this, as I've said this a lot of times before, but I feel like I need to keep repeating myself. So if I've already said it in this vlog, I'll just cut it out. But this is for me, you know, this was the book idea I got when I was 16 that I always told myself I was going to write when I was older and ready to write it. And yeah, it's just, and every time I write it, I feel really, really good. It honestly makes me really happy. Surprisingly, there were very few plot holes. Like, there were actually none. If anything, it was like the foreshadowing I created was really good, and I was very impressed with myself. It's just as the story went on, I forgot about some of the foreshadowing, but it's like really easy stuff to add in, as well as the only like 2 inconsistencies I have is someone's job who's not even the main character. I just need to like change it, and then another back side character's name just keeps changing. So pretty easy stuff. I do need to do a little bit more world building in the sense where I need to come up with some characters' names, but I think I'm gonna save that for once I'm done with the entire book. So I just know how many names I need to gather for each area. I have organized all my notes since we last talked. I've washed my hair quite a few times since we last talked. I look somewhat like a person. I will fully look like a person once I'm done with my wardrobe switchover, but by the time you're watching this video, you've already seen that happen. And over the past few days, I have been actually writing again. What I decided to do was not go back and fix every chapter, though I really, really wanted to. I felt like that would just create an unhealthy cycle of not finishing this draft, which I would really, really like to. And instead, I just went back and started to write all the chapters that weren't written or complete, excluding chapter 2, because I still haven't come to terms with the fact that I lost it, and I'm still holding out that I'll be able to fix that. I'm saving that for like the last possible thing. I do not have the bandwidth or the mental health to go through that currently. I will say these past, I think this is my 3rd or 4th day now, I've been kind of on a bit of a writing roll. I've written through point of views that I generally don't like writing through. I've made like a really good start. I think hopefully by the end of this week I should be caught up with a lot of those chapters that I've skipped over or not finished, or also changing point of view. I did change one point of view chapter because I felt like that would be somewhat easy. And yeah, I'm feeling really confident with my story. There's this like one section that I don't fully know how to write, which I definitely think will need a sensitivity reader. Things are moving along. I'm feeling really confident. I have a good writing flow currently going where normally I could only write in the morning, but I'm literally doing this thing, which I mentioned at the beginning of this vlog, where I'm finding with editing I can really do any time, even though in the beginning I said mainly in the evenings, but I have been literally writing in the morning, afternoon, evening, like any chance I'm sitting down, type in a few hundred words, going back to work, typing a few hundred more words, and so every day I have a pretty high word count due to it. That's been really, really awesome. Other than that, I don't really have much else to update. Yeah, I guess I could talk about a twist I'm currently writing that I'm freaking out about, but at the same time, after just reading through my story and seeing how other twists played out, like really smoothly, I'm just kind of like, you're fine. It just feels that way in the moment, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a-okay.